Let's welcome to the show Florida Congresswoman Cammack. Congresswoman, you were involved in the middle of that riot last night. What happened?
Well, good to see you, Liz. And yeah, last night was a little unnerving. I was coming back from an event with my chief of staff, and we were trying to get access into the Capitol complex and actually were denied of the western and the southern portions. You could hear the clashes between Capitol Police and the protesters. And again, I mean, these are people who are screaming at police officers, pepper spraying them, using bicycle racks as weapons, getting in their face. And so it was pretty unnerving not being able to gain access to the secure facility because you're like a sitting duck out there. And so just more of the same of what we see out of this group, the pro-Hamas protesters.
You know, we got to switch to this latest round of blunders and gaffes. Let's get your reaction, Congresswoman. California Governor Gavin Newsom is getting heavily criticized for comparing the clearing out of homeless people in San Francisco for the visit from China's leader, equating it to putting dirty socks in the hamper. Watch this.
Anytime you put on an event, by definition, you know, you have people over your house, you're going to clean up the house. You're going to make sure the kids, make their beds. Take the socks, let's put them in the drawer, in the hamper.
Really? It's like putting homeless people are like socks in the hamper? And President Biden said Newsom could have his job in the White House?
It never ceases to amaze me, the things that come out of both of those men's mouth. I think Governor DeSantis will make quick work of Governor Newsom in their debate later this month. But the entire visit with President Xi is something that is just appalling. Not a single American flag in sight as he was paraded through the streets of San Francisco. I want to know, where did they take those people and how much did it cost taxpayers to wipe the human feces off the street and get the homeless encampments cleaned up and all of the other things that they had to do? And by the way, while Xi is talking about pandas as the symbolism of friendship and how they're going to send us more pandas, Biden was mum, silent on an active genocide that the dictator, the Chinese dictator, which yes, he is engaging in his own country. He was silent on the fentanyl, that the over 160 factories that China blesses produces the fentanyl that then kills over 100,000 Americans every single year, and was silent on the COVID virus, which killed millions, that originated in China, and yet still no consequences. It was disgusting. Between that and these pro-Hamas protesters, we have had a belly full this week, and Americans should be outraged.
Congressman, let's get your reaction to the Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, visibly wincing as President Biden did call out China's Xi as a dictator, but then you're going to hear the president walking that back. Watch this.
Well, look, he is. I mean, he's a dictator in the sense that he is a guy who runs a country that is a communist country that's based on a form of government totally different than ours.
The path of socialism with Chinese characteristics has been found under the guidance of the theory of scientific socialism. Our paths are different, but both are the choice by our peoples, and both lead to the realization of the common values of humanity.
Okay, China's putting out statements that quote, it's extremely wrong to call him a dictator. So there's that fight. But Congresswoman, let's get back to what you were just talking about. The president listed his concerns, but did climate change, the focus on climate change, put on the back burner everything else? Nothing about Chinese spying, human rights abuses, the cover-up of the COVID pandemic origins. So low expectations were met because really the focus on climate change.
Yeah, I mean, that to me was just absolutely unacceptable, that was the best that they could do, was talk about climate change, while, again, I remind everyone that China is one of the worst offenders when it comes to carbon emissions, zero regard for environmental regulations or laws, just basic, decent human behavior when it comes to how they should operate. They believe in basically no rule should apply to them. And we see that every single day in their manufacturing practices, in how they regard other nations. They don't play by any international standard. We see that with Spectrum 5G policy. We see that with climate initiatives and policy. We see that with human rights. They are on a totally different playing field than the rest of the world. And so I actually am shocked that Biden said what he said, because he wasn't saying that the rest of the world has not essentially agreed to. Xi is a dictator. And when he says that people have a choice, no, there are no choices to be had in China. You are dictated what you will accept. And if you don't comply, we've seen how they treat people. We see what they do to their own people. They have an active genocide of people who have a divergent opinion in their country.
Congresswoman Cammack,
what is insane.
Thank you for joining us. It's good to have you on. Sorry, we're just running out of time. We'll have you back on. It's good to see you.